Good morning, everybody. Smiley here. Just going to check I'm in the right place. How are you all doing this morning? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I think we've got one more week left of the school holidays for lots of you. So I wanted to come online today and talk to you about worries. So if anyone's around and you want to say hi, come and say hi. If you just want to watch and listen, that's fine too. Just checking I'm in the right place. Hi Lane. Hi Julia. All the usual suspects. Oh, I'm so glad that you come and say hi. Today I'm going to talk about my experience with worries. I've been a worrier all my life, but it's only probably in the last I would say a few years that I've actually got a handle on my worries, and I want to give you some of my tips and tricks so that you don't have to take 20 odd years to work out how to do it. Everyone will have a different way of dealing with it. Everyone's got their own kind of take on it. So just listen to the bits you want and maybe try them out, and then if it's not for you, that's fine. Hi Erin, hello. Oh, so lovely to have you here. Thank you for being here. Right, I'm just going to shut my pooter down because that's going to distract me otherwise. I've got some notes here for you. So first of all, I want to say, if you're watching this video and you like it, can you like and share it with your friends? Because what's happening on Facebook is I'm not reaching many people. Not many people on my page like to share for some strange reason. Maybe because it's talking about something personal and they think, oh, if I share this, does that mean I'm worried? Well, like 90% of the population are worried, and we all worry about something. So try not to make it mean something it doesn't mean. It just means you're being helpful and saying, if you're worried, watch this nice, helpful video. Because I would like to find all the worried children and help them. I wish I'd had somebody around to talk to me about what was going on inside my head when I was growing up. Because for me, worrying stopped me from going to sleep. It stopped me from being the best version of myself. So I could have done way better at school, but my worries held me back. I wouldn't speak up in front of the class. I didn't like doing presentations. I didn't like reading in front of the class. And it's only recently, since I've started coming onto Facebook Live, that I've got more confident in my public speaking. But I still think today, if you put me in a room full of actual people, like the other week I did a training to 100 people, but if I was actually in a room with 100 people, I don't know what my worries would be like around that. So because I can't see you and I just feel like I'm talking one-on-one, having a chat, that's how I see it in my head, that feels comfortable. So if any of these things are ringing true for you, give me a like or a thumbs up. So it stopped me from sleeping, stopped me from doing well at school, it stopped me from being away from home and going on play dates. So if I had to sleep overnight somewhere that wasn't in my own bed, I used to get quite bad asthma. We thought it was like an allergy to different pillows and dust in other people's houses and various other things. It wasn't. It was just my worries getting really, really big when I wasn't at home, because at home I felt safe. So if that's you, you know that when you're in your own room or in your own bed, you feel much safer than you do when you have to go somewhere else, especially if you're going somewhere that you've never been before. I couldn't make decisions either. My worries would kind of interfere with my decision making. So I can remember when I had to choose my options for my GCSEs. For those of you that got your GCSE results yesterday, I hope you got what you wanted. But if you didn't, read the post that I posted yesterday, because I still think you're amazing. So it stopped me from deciding. I was like, oh, do I want to do history or geography? Oh, do I want to do languages or this? And it really interfered with every single area of my life pretty much. And then I'd worry about what other people thought of me. I'd worried if I'd upset my friend. I'd worried if this, and it's just a constant stream. So think of like a stream of water of thoughts just going round and round and round in my head. Thanks for sharing, Julia. So Julia says it stops me from doing things just in case I get told off or I get it wrong. Yes, that was a big one for me, getting told off or getting it wrong. I was petrified of making mistakes. But what the worries do is, so what I used to call my worries was impending doom. So, you know, like doom is like really glam and dreary. I would it would feel like I had a cloud. I had a cloud that I was walking around, and the cloud was following me around all the time. For some of you, it might be a voice in your head. It might be a feeling in your body. Your heart might beat faster. Your chest might get tight. Your hands might get sweaty. But mine was like a cloud that just kind of hovered over me. It was always there in the background, just a feeling of something bad might happen. Something bad might happen. It was just a feeling. Can you relate to that? Does that feel familiar to you? It will be different for everyone. Everyone's worries will show up in a different way. But the thing that people don't realise is they try to turn the worries off. You can't. It's just your brain having a lot of thoughts. And actually, it's just your brain doing its job, right? So there's two things you need to understand. One is your brain wants to keep you safe. So that's the smiley thought card, isn't it? I am safe and protected. Your brain is wired up to keep you safe. So it's constantly scanning around you going, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? You see? But a lot of the time when we feel unsafe, we're not in true danger. So, you know, the sky isn't falling on our heads. No one is going to get hurt. No one's died. Nothing really bad has happened. But standing up in front of the class for me felt dangerous. Why? Because I felt like everyone was going to criticise me. So, but my worries were telling me fibs to keep me safe. But keeping me safe, keep me small. So stop me growing and being the confident person that I came here to be. Does that make sense? So number one is, you can't stop your brain from having those thoughts. Your brain is actually trying to do a good job and keep you safe, okay? So just say to your brain, thank you for that, brain. But then we need to train our brains to think in a different way. The second thing is, there's nothing wrong with you if you worry. So lots of children will come to me and be like, what's wrong with me? You know, what's wrong with me? Why am I doing this? Da, 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 da. Everybody, every single person on the planet worries about something. And if people tell you that they don't care and they're not worried, they're fibbing. Because that's the way your brain is wired. Your brain is wired to keep you safe and to protect you from danger. Mums and dads, if you're listening to this, your brains are also wired that way. So you have to watch your worries, that you don't project them onto situations with your children, because your worry feeds their worry. So if you can get a handle on your worries, you'll be doing them a massive favour. I'm going to talk to you more about that in a minute. So that's two things you need to know, okay? Your brain is doing a good job. And the second thing is, there's nothing wrong with you. You've just got an amazing brain, probably a great imagination. That's another smiley thought card. I have a great imagination. That's why I made these cards, because there's a story attached to them. I have a great imagination, and your brain can go to amazing places. And actually, I think the greater your imagination and the more creative you are, probably the more worried you are. Does that make sense? Because I'm not fibbing. I'm going to be really honest. I still have a very worried brain now, but I've just learned to understand it more, and I've learned how to keep a handle on it. So Erin's saying, I get that feeling in my chest. Yep. So that's that panicky feeling, isn't it? That something bad is about to happen. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you 3 things that I wish I'd known sooner when I was young, when I was like, even back to when I was 6 or 7, maybe even younger than that. I can remember being petrified of the dark. My worries seemed to get bigger at night time. I was so scared of the dark. And even if there was a nightlight on, I just didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe as a child. And every single noise and creak outside, or the radiators or the heating going off, I was just a very nervous child. And if you're like that, it's okay. Your brain is just lying in the darkness, which is unknown. You can't see anything. And it's just afraid. So then you need to help yourself, and you need to help your brain, because your brain will just run riot and keep that stream of thoughts going. It's up to you to manage it. Okay. And you can. And that's the one thing I didn't realize. I just felt like it had control over me, and it was just my brain. I used to say to my mum, I wish I had a brain. I wish I had a switch to turn my brain off. So, and it's tiring, guys. It's tiring, and it's actually a waste of energy, because nobody ever said, oh, I'm really glad I spent all night worrying about that, because it doesn't change anything, does it? No. So the first thing that I wish I'd done sooner was take action. So if you continue to stay where you are, doing the things you're doing which aren't working, or doing nothing and just letting your brain run riot, you will stay where you are. But if you try different things and see what works, and unfortunately it takes a bit of effort, so you're going to have to do little things every day to keep your brain in a happy place. But that's okay, because you've got choices, haven't you? What are you going to do? You're going to waste all that energy worrying, which doesn't actually do anything, or you're going to train your brain to think differently and to use your energy for good. Does that make sense? I've just released a podcast episode this week. It's episode 7. It's the one with the leaky bucket, and it talks about how to use your energy wisely. Like, are you giving your energy away? Have you got holes in your bucket, in your energy bucket? So you can get that on the website, smileyforlife.com/TMS7. T for truly, M for madly, S for smiley. And if you haven't listened to the podcast yet, get on over and listen to it. There's 7 fabulous episodes. And there's another one coming up next week, episode 8, which is the one with the noisy brain. So more talk about worries, which is helpful. So the first thing I did when I discovered that I had worries, because I spent a lot of time thinking, what is wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. I'm a terrible child. You know, why is my brain, why is no one else being like this? Obviously people, and this is the thing, a lot of other people feel like this, but they don't talk about it. So if you don't talk about it, then people start going, must be something wrong with me. So the first book I read, this is such an old copy of this book, I've got it here, is this book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Now, Susan Jeffers is not alive anymore, and this book is so old. It was $5.99. I think it was published in like 1970 something. It's so old. But it is one of the very first books I read when I started to get interested in coaching and positive thinking and helping people. And what Susan says in this book is that you've got to feel the fear. Like, the more you push the fear away, ignore it, don't do anything with it, the bigger it grows. It becomes this massive ordeal in your head. I had to read this book 4 times before I actually took action. And there were years that went on in between the 4 times that I read it. I stayed stuck for ages because my brain was trying to keep me safe, and it was going, don't do anything different. Oh, it's a really scary world out there. Don't do anything different. But the book kept saying, but you need to do it differently. It's such a good book. Yeah, Julia, it's a brilliant book. So parents, if you want to get this book, maybe teens could get this book on Audible, on audio, and listen to it in your earbuds, because it will make you see things, fearful things and thoughts, in a different way. The other thing I did was I did my angel cards every morning. My angel cards are the grown-up version of the Smiley thought cards. And I literally would shuffle them and talk to them and read all the positive sayings on them, so that I was filling my brain with happy thoughts every day. And that's what my Smiley thought cards are for. And that's why I made them for you, because I want to help you with your worries, and I want to help you to train your brain to think differently. And actually, there is a Smiley thought card, isn't there? Look, I fill my world with happy thoughts. That little girl's called Erin on there, Erin. So that's, I fill my world with happy thoughts. So the first thing is, you need to take action. The second thing is, I want you to give yourself permission to stop playing small. So what I mean by that is, I want you to say to yourself, it's safe for me to be the biggest, most confident version of myself. Now say that to yourself and notice if that brings up any uncomfortable feelings in your body, because automatically I think your worried brain is going to go, don't get big, don't get confident, stay small, no one will see you, keep safe. I think that's what your brain might say. So say, it's safe for me to be the biggest, most confident, most powerful version of myself, and see what happens in your body when you say that. And then you need to really see yourself. So close your eyes and imagine, what would your life look like if you didn't have any worries? What would it be like if you were using your energy to play more, to learn more, to have fun, to say how you truly feel, to be the person that you came here to be? Can you imagine what that would feel like. Obviously, it's unknown to you because you don't know what that would feel like. So when it's unknown and it's uncertain, your brain wants to shut it down and keep you small. Keep you small. You just say, listen, brain, enough of that already. I am safe. Smiley thought card. I am safe and protected. And I want to be the best version of myself. That's what I came here to be. I deserve to have a good and happy life. I deserve to be worry-free. But you've almost got to give yourself permission. You've got to say, I'm going to allow myself to be that person. I'm going to allow myself to let go of my worries. Because otherwise your worries become a bit of a safety blanket, and they also become a bit of an excuse. And I know you're not doing that on purpose because you're trying to keep yourself safe, but they do become a bit of an excuse, like, oh, I can't do that because I'm worried, or I can't do that because I'm not very good. You have to get up every day and look worries in the face and say, listen, worries, you're not going to get the better of me. I choose to be confident. I can handle anything, and if I can't, there'll be a grown-up around or someone that I can ask to help me. I'm not in danger. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. I live in a nice world. I live in a nice world. I am stronger than my worries. And then this one is a bit like Susan Jeffers, and that's where this one came from. I am brave and I face my fears. And on the back of this one, it says, everybody is scared of something and that's okay. Things often turn out better than you imagine. And they do, don't they? They do. So I want you to see yourself in your mind's eye. You can even draw your big confident self. What would you look like? What would you be doing? What would you be wearing? Would you be smiling? Who would you be with? What would be happening? And allow yourself to be worry-free. Just say, I'm worry-free today. I'm worry-free. I'm not going to let that stuff get to me. But you have to create a habit with that, because your brain will wake up in the morning and it will go, what if this, what if that? And it will start. The worrying for me used to start the minute I got up. And when I was in the shower, woof, it used to go mad, get really, really noisy. You have to tell it to pipe down. But you're in charge of it. It's your brain. It lives in your body, and you can do something about that. The third thing is to notice the worries, okay? What are they saying? Now, obviously you're aware of them because they're happening in your mind, and you're diving into them and going, what if this, what if that? You're diving into a worry or a thought and going, oh, this is horrible. But if you just notice it, if you become an observer of what's going on in here, and my thing that I do is I write them down, because actually when you write them down, that gives them no power over you. When all of them stay up here and they're all rattling around, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So you either tell someone, you write them down, or you draw them. And you can do that every day as a habit. I would give yourself a time every day to say, this is my worry time. I'm going to write my worries down. Probably not before you go to bed, because you don't want to go to bed with a head full of worries. But then you might want to empty your head of worries before you go to bed. But definitely have a journal or a notebook or a special book and a pen. Have worry time and write them down, because when they stay in here, they start to get bigger, and then they get other worries that become friends with them. And then you start a whole story going on in your head, which is all lies, by the way. None of these things are true, but it's your brain just trying to keep you safe, right? So we don't want to be cross with our brain. We want to go, okay, worries, what are you trying to tell me? Write it down, look at it and say, is that true? Oh, you're just trying to keep me safe. Well, that's not actually true, so that's fine. I'm going to carry on. A lot of the stuff we worry about hasn't actually happened yet. So we're like forecasting, you know, like the ladies on and the men on the telly forecast the weather. We're forecasting what's going to happen. What if I get it wrong? What if I get a low grade? What if I get told off? What if my friend doesn't like me? What if they laugh at me? And so it goes on. It's like a train. So you're on the worry train then, and the worries are just coming out of your brain like there's no tomorrow. All the what ifs, they don't normally ever happen, because you can't predict the future. You're not in control of that, and you don't actually know. What if you woke up in the morning and had the most amazing day ever? And that's how you need to think. You need to go from what if something bad happens to what if something amazing happens to me today, and always be open to something amazing happening to you. So they're your three things. Take action. Do small things every day to manage your worries. And if you want to, in September, the Energy Pod, every single class, which is on a Monday at 5 o'clock, is going to be me giving you more techniques of how to manage your worries. So today I've just touched on the surface, but in the classes we're going to dive deeper, and I'm actually going to look at your worries with you, take you through them all, and get you to see so you can grow into the biggest, most confident, best version of yourself that can live worry free. So all the classes in September on worries start on Monday the 3rd of September, and you can book a ticket. It's £15 per family. So if you've got 4 people in your family and you're all worriers, that's £15 for all of you to learn how to deal with your worries. And you can do it together as a team. So it's not just one person that's dealing with it on their own. It's the whole family going, right, let's sort this worrying out, because it's not actually helping us. So to join us for the Energy Pod and get your tickets, it's smileyforlife.com/energy pod. And you can make a further saving, actually, because there'll be 4 Septembers, I think, or is there 5 Mondays in September? Anyway, if there's 4, you can buy a bundle of classes for £50, so you can save yourself some money. So you could buy 4 classes and do them all for £50, which is amazing. £50 to sort out your head. Or to learn how to sort out your head, and then you have to start putting it into practice. But again, it's that taking action. You've got to be committed to taking action. Okay, so now I'm going to say to you, when you start talking to people about coming to online classes or coming to a workshop or coming to coaching, guess what your brain does? It goes, oh, I don't know what that's going to be like. Right, I'm going to keep myself safe. I don't need to go to that. I'm absolutely fine. I haven't got any worries. Oh, my worries aren't that bad. Oh, that's what your brain will start saying. And any resistance or any, like, I don't want to goes is fear. It's the worries trying to keep you safe again. And actually, a question to ask you instead of what will it be like, what if I don't like it, what if people laugh at me, is what can I find out about it, or what do I need to know to make it easier for me to come to the class, right? I'll tell you a few things now that might make it easy for you if you're worried about it. A couple of people online that have been to the Energy Pod. Maybe you want to tell some people some stuff about the Energy Pod and what it's like for you. But it's like this. It's like watching me on a video, typing into the chat roll, doing likes and not likes. You can actually come to the class and not say anything at all if you don't want to be seen. You can just watch. So that's not scary, is it? Because you're doing this now and it feels fine. And I hope after you've watched this video that you actually feel really good about yourself. So coming to class is not a what if I feel terrible. It's a what if I feel great and I actually learn how to do something which is going to help me to feel better. So there's nothing for you to be scared of. You can't get it wrong. Because everyone's feelings are their feelings. I can't make your feelings wrong. I don't know how it feels to be in your body. So you can't get it wrong. Nothing bad's going to happen. No one gets told off at the Energy Pod. It's nothing like school. It's nothing like school at all. There you go. Erin looks forward to Smiley classes. Thank you, Erin. It's fun. Some classes are tougher than others because we have to deal with stuff that's a bit icky. But you can't run away from that stuff forever. And if you deal with it now, then when you become a grown-up, you'll know how to handle anything, right? So you are automatically, when you try something new, so this is what I'm thinking about going back to school next week, or the week after. It's the week after, isn't it? You're going to automatically go, what if my new classroom's horrible? What if I can't do the work? What if it's too hard? What if my new teacher's horrible? What if I get bad grades? What if they don't like me? What if I get bullied? What if I've got no friends? What if people leave me out? What if I fall over and make an idiot of myself? What if I've got food between my teeth? Your brain is going to start finding loads of ways to make you not want to go to school because it's trying to keep you safe. But here's the thing. What if you went to school and actually had fun learning? What if you went to school and gave yourself permission to enjoy yourself and love it and love learning? I love learning. I never liked school, but it wasn't school's fault I didn't like school. It's because I had all these worries rattling around in my head. So if I'd have known all this stuff when I was at school, I love to learn, and I was quite a smart kid, and people used to tell me that, and I never used to believe them because I had all this other stuff going on in my head that I needed to clear out so that I could make space to learn all the exciting stuff that school wanted to teach me. So if you're worried about going back to school, next Wednesday at 6:30 and next Friday at 9 o'clock, I'm doing a back to school Energy Pod special. Okay, so it's the same, it's the Energy Pod classes, it's only £15 per family. you can come and we will get you ready to go back to school. We'll get rid of all the worries. We'll give you some tips so that you can feel positive and safe and okay about going back to school. So these are special classes. That's next Wednesday. That's the 29th of August at 6:30, and next Friday, which is the 31st of August at 9 o'clock in the morning. 2 classes. So when you go online to book, if you go smileyforlife.com/energypod, when you go online to book, it will just say the energy pod class for that day. But there's one on Wednesday at 6:30 and one on Friday at 9 o'clock. So come to those, because imagine starting your new school term feeling pumped up, excited, enthusiastic, and feeling a bit more confident about if something was going to happen, brain, I know you're trying to keep me safe, that you would be okay, you'd be able to handle it. And this is my last card that I've picked out, which is bad things don't last forever. Don't. A worry is just an energy passing through your brain with a message, and then off it pops. It's when it passes through your brain, you dive into it and start making it true, that you get into trouble, isn't it? That's when you start to feel rubbish. So I've got a couple of other things that might help you. There's the podcast that I've already talked about. There's episode 4 is the one with the big thought hole. And I think it's episode 2 is the one with the dark, dark night. So that's for those of you that are scared of the dark. So you can either go to iTunes and search for Truly Madly Smiley, or you can pick that up on the website, smileyforlife.com/Truly Madly Smiley. I've got the 2 back to school classes. And we've also got, starting on the 10th of September, a course called Be Your Own Best Friend. Now, module 6, so that's a 6-week course. Module 6 of that course is going to be a whole week of sorting out the voices in your head. So we call that your self-talk, the way you talk to yourself. So I'm going to do a whole module on that as part of that course, because actually the way we talk to ourselves, what goes on in here, affects our whole life. It affects our friendships, it affects our sleep, it just affects our whole life and how happy we are. So if we can sort this out, this amazing piece of kit that we've been given, then we're winning at life, right? And I want you to win at life. So if you're interested in my Be Your Best Friend course, that starts on the 10th of September and it's for 6 weeks. It's an online course and you have to apply for it. So I'm talking to parents on the phone. You need to fill in an application form because I want to make sure it's the right course for you. But you can find out more details and you can apply at smileyforlife.com/BFF, Best Friend Forever. Okay? So while I'm online, does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask me about their worries or about anything related to their brain or lying in bed awake at night or the what ifs they have? If you want to ask me something, I'm here to help you and I will happily answer your questions. Oh, you love that card. I love that card too, Julia. It's a good card, right? You can also pick up a box of my Smiley Thought cards online, smileyforlife.com/shop. You will find 40 of these little beauties in a box and they will help you to train your brain to think differently. Okay? And these are the 2 things that started me off down that road. The Susan Jeffers book and the cards. Simple. Pull one every day. And I think the way to train your brain is it's baby steps over time, which is why I'm choosing to pick one subject for the month of September for the Energy Pod, because I think if we could just build on that and get some momentum on it, then it will help you more than just doing one subject, different subject per week. I'm going to try it that way and see how we get on. So I'll hang around a little bit longer. If you've got any questions to ask me, then let me know about your worries and I will try and help you. I think those 3 things, like if someone had told me there's nothing wrong with you and your brain wants to keep you safe, that would have helped me massively. I'd have been like, oh, okay. Because, you know, if you're a smart person, you can go, well, that's just my brain trying to keep me safe. Am I in danger? Can't see any lions. Sky's not falling on my head. No one's hurt. Everything's fine. I see a lot of children who, adults, if you're listening, I see a lot of children who feel unsafe when an adult is not present. And I think that's quite normal at a certain age. that you feel like you need an adult. But if you are a mum that does everything for your kids, and I know you do that from a place of love, they do grow up with the belief that they need you to do everything for them. And we want to kind of get the balance right between being there for them and helping and supporting them, and actually showing them that we believe in them and they can do things for themselves, because that's really important. You see, I think when I was growing up, my parents brought me up to be so independent that I don't ask for help. So I've gone completely the other way. And I find it hard to ask for help sometimes, even when my worries get bad. But as you know, lots of you know, I've got a coach or a lady that I go and talk to about the worries in my head. And I go and see her still now once a month, because that's me taking care of my health. That's me looking after myself. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. It just means that I want to look after myself. I care about myself. And I want to make sure that I feel okay. It's a good thing to do. And that's why it's good if you come to Smiley Coaching, because you're actually helping yourself and you're looking after yourself. And you deserve that. Okay, so I can't see any questions on my chat roll. So I'm going to go now, and I want to thank you all for being here. And I hope to see some of you in the energy pod at some point, because I think you'll find it super, super helpful. And I want you to enjoy the rest of your holiday. Try not to think about school until you have to. You've still got time to enjoy it. And I shall see you all on here, I'm sure, really, really soon. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.